Power Walsh Jesuit rides into Blazer territory tonight on a 3-game win streak and an impressive 4-1 record on the road this season, while Hathaway Brown shoots for a bounce-back performance on the second night of a back-to-back, looking to notch their 10th win on the campaign. It's live and free Northeast Ohio girls hoops to kick off your Wednesday night, and it's all coming up next.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Parochial Powers, Hathaway Brown, Walsh Jesuit about to square off tonight with plenty at stake for tournament seeding, and we've got all the action laced up and ready for play right now. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Shaker Heights, Ohio. My name is Brian Skowronski. I got Hayden Gray with me. This is the pregame show, and talking about a couple of D1 programs, both well above 500 on the season, so we're expecting plenty of talent here tonight, Hayden, and it's two programs used to playing one another, as you saw in the graphic there. About every other season, they squeeze each other onto the schedule.
Yeah, you know, I took myself to history class this morning and went back and looked through, you know, the past few times these teams have met, and last year Walsh Jesuit got the, you know, the better hand with a 60-38 victory over the squad, but I think that they've kind of, you know, the series is 3-2 since 2010, and I think that they're looking to even that up tonight, these Blazers. And like you said, two teams that here on the OH report, you know, you don't get to see a lot, but these Division I programs, it's a great opportunity to come up here and see how basketball is played at this level in this part of the state.
Definitely two youthful yet successful teams, one from the Cleveland suburbs where we are right now, the other from Northeast Akron. So it's definitely going to be some fun talent. Two neighboring communities pretty close to one another trying to prove that they are the top dogs in this rivalry. Let's dive a little bit deeper into Walsh right now, and this is a big opportunity for them to impress the coaches for the tourney draw, to knock off a team like HB, adding to their already impressive resume.
Yeah, you know, they have a very young squad, as we just mentioned a couple times, but I think that's kind of in their favor. They've been able to put together the pieces this year and that just gives you even more to look forward to next year. But, you know, they've got a chance to do some special things this year. They got an 80% win ratio in those last 5 games, and this is a test for them tonight that will help with the seeding coming up. And then they'll also face a Hawkins squad coming up in the next few games that does have a record above 500 as well. So they need to take care of business tonight and allow this to just add together to the resume they've been able to put together this season.
Give me some keys to the game tonight for Walsh Jesuit. What do you think can decide this in their favor here, Mr. Gray?
I think they need to, you know, shut down the big 3 that has kind of emerged. And even since the last time we were up here at Hathaway Brown, they almost have 4 scorers in double digits. But that's going to be Germani Jones at 13.3 per game. Then you got Gia Piscatelli at 11.1 and Lucy Castellanos at 10.1 points per game, and Tegan Clark's right behind him at 9. So I think they need to just remember that Hathaway Brown's not a one-dimensional or one-player team. They can spread the love, so they just got to keep their guard up, that court vision wide, and shut down that big 3.
And the fighting spirit matters, my friend. If they can bring the will of the warrior, try to embody what's written across their chest here tonight on the road, probably going to end up very favorably for them when the night is all said and done. Talked about Hathaway Brown a little bit and some of the players that they have on the roster, and they have some young guns as we'll turn the spotlight on them now. Almost 4 players, as you mentioned, scoring into double figures, but the awesome part about it, none of them are going to be graduating, Hayden. So a great collective of talent, and all of them still some room to grow.
Yeah, you know, I think one thing that can be a misconception sometimes is just because you're a senior in high school athletics doesn't always mean you're inserted into that starting lineup. So like you said, this whole starting 5 for this young team going to be coming back next year, and they've been able to find success this year, though, too, under a first-year head coach, Steve Klug. So exciting things going on here for the Blazers. And they actually got a chance to play over in the Classic in the Country tournament and lost to Northwest in double overtime to a tough Northwest squad. So impressive stuff.
According to their assistant AD, they had to drive through a crazy blizzard just to get there. Almost didn't make it on the bus to the game, and then they played a classic at the Classic in the Country, so that was probably a fantastic experience for the girls and some memories, some stories at least, that they're going to have and talk about for years to come. All right, let's look a little bit deeper at Germani Jones and what that girl's been able to do this year. She's one of those just paint protectors on defense. She's also their most skilled, gifted scorer on offense. Most of her stuff coming in the paint.
Yeah, I was very impressed the last time OH Report crew was up here. I watched this entire game in its entirety at home, and Germani Jones really struck, you know, caught my eye. She does a really nice job, almost a double-digit averager in 2 categories, and she's going to be a big part of the success for the Blazers tonight if they want to get a big win.
Let's take a look at our keys tonight for Hathaway Brown as well, and I just feel like got to get off to a nice start and then try to maintain from there. So if you can get up, you know, a couple of buckets and then not let Walsh Jesuit overtake you, if you can just stay in the lead here on your home surface, that's what they need to do. Don't want to have to fight from behind like we saw in their previous game against Mags, and I know that they've done that on a few different occasions this season where they've had to try to dig themselves out of big holes.
Yeah, you don't want to have that here tonight. You want to try and limit those turnovers that we saw a lot in that last game here on the OH Report, and limit those turnovers. Don't give up easy points and hold on to that lead.
Exciting night of basketball just about set to tip off here from Shaker Heights, Ohio. Both teams lined up, excited to take the floor against one another. As we're just awaiting the playing of our national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, and then get things underway here at Hathaway Brown. Fantastic facility, and you got a fun nugget where this school, it's been around for a hot minute too, Hayden.
Yeah, you know, Hathaway Brown was founded in 1876, and they are the longest continually operating all-girls school in the state, so cool stuff.
Always such a cool thing that we do here in the United States of America, the land of the free, where we honor our great roots and our heritage. Love it. Get goosebumps a lot when we play that to kick off games. Let's be the starting lineups for tonight, and we will begin with the visiting Walsh Jesuit Warriors, who, just like Hathaway Brown, a ton of youngsters. They only have 2 seniors on the team, neither of them in the starting lineup. So to your point, just because it's your last year of high school basketball doesn't mean that you're going to be on the floor and get significant minutes. And especially at the D1 level, the best girls are going to play, Hayden.
Yeah, and I think that's safe to say when you have those players in your program. Now, I could just be making assumptions, but oftentimes those seniors, even though they're not in the starting lineup, can be tremendous leaders. And I think that's one of those signals and flags of a good program where you don't have to have, just because you're a 12th grader in the starting lineup, they got a good core, they got good leadership here at Walsh Jesuit.
So you see Sutton, Garner, Taraba, Corded, and then Angeliski, the starters for Walsh Jesuit. And for the Blazers tonight, same starters that they've been able to keep on the floor all season long. Jermani Jones, their stud junior on the inside. Tegan Clark, also a junior. Lucy Castellanos as well. 3 members of that junior class will accompany a couple of sophomores, Gia Piscatelli and then Molly Castellanos.
Yeah, I think, something I picked up on here is 3 Castellanos here, because you even take a look down into... No, yes, all on the varsity roster, excuse me. So that's exciting stuff, especially when you can have something special like basketball in the family. But another youthful roster, and I think that's got to be exciting for first-year head coach Steve Klug.
As you mentioned, they will bring one more Castellanos off the bench, Maggie, the twin sister of Molly. But their games, a lot different from one another. Here's Molly getting set to jump off. Cecily Sutton didn't give it much of an effort.
No.
She was giving up about a foot, but she comes away with the basketball and an excellent feed to Gardner. 2 points in the matter of 5 seconds.
Yeah, an early start and good heads-up play from Jesuit there. You just got to take advantage of that tip, get a quick 2.
Here's Jones from the short corner, missed it. Offensive board in the putback, though, for Lucy Castellanos.
Yeah, good job. Like we said, every point's going to be crucial tonight, so good job fighting for that second chance point.
Second look on our OH Report replay. Just mishandling the basketball that time was Megan Taraba. And Lucy was able to capitalize, squaring things up 2 apiece. Excellent screening. Leads to an open look for Sutton. Misfires, though. And the Blazers, the chance to take their first lead of the night.
Walsh coming with a little bit of pressure. They find that matchup and bring a little bit of double extra pressure there.
Blazers maintaining their patience. Skip pass. Here's Lucy from the corner, halfway home, spun out.
They do a nice job of getting back in transition and on the defensive end of the court, getting back set to where they want, starting in a man-to-man. A little bit of, you actually coined a term last time. Sometimes their defense gives a amoeba figure. You don't know whether they're man-to-man or zone, but we'll see what they're going to set up in tonight.
Looks like some of that amoeba zone action here to start things off. As Walsh will have the inbounds. Bring it up top to Garner. Initiate the offense. And Angelski from downtown buries it.
And those screens that you just mentioned on the last possession showing themselves then again, and that was a nice screen to get her wide open.
Nearly a 5-second violation, but gunning it downfield like a quarterback to Piscatelli, who made the catch. She got hacked by Gardner and will head to the line for a couple.
And, it's almost a little flashback watching that play there. The last time we were up here actually against Mags, I remember a very similar play. I mean, a great arm, great throw down the court, but just not able to corral it close enough, just too far under that hoop, and then going to pick up the foul, though, and have a chance for 2 still.
quietest gym in the country during free throws.
Yeah, I know. We almost feel as though we'd be breaking the rules to speak.
So keep it down, Hayden. Someone's at the line.
Ooh.
See what happens.
Yeah, we'll take that one.
So Gia splits the pair. And fast hands force a turnover. First of the game for Jesuit. Piscatelli puts the Blazers on top, their first lead.
You can tell Piscatelli loves that corner. She runs the court really well, gets set up, and you can tell she's looking for that corner three.
Too much on the shot attempt that time by the Warriors. Hathaway Brown looking to extend some momentum. Bad pass, though, into the interior by Gia. Warriors run the floor well. Second opportunity, not available that time on the shot recorded.
Nice job there to avoid picking up any kind of foul, though. You know, Jermani Jones did a nice job getting those hands up, making sure she avoided any kind of contact in the transition defense.
Nice shot, Abby Gardner. A little bit of hang time. She's got 4 points.
Got to be another turnover. That full court pressure from the Lady Warriors here early, causing some problems there, getting set up and even getting it across the half court line.
So each team with a giveaway so far. Pull-up jumper came up short that time. Lucy chased it down.
Yeah, tough look there. That mid-range jumper, something that takes quite a bit of time to knock down. We'll see if Blazers are able to capitalize, and they will.
Jones with the quick trigger knocks down her first 2 of the evening. Blazers back on top by a point. Double teaming down in the corner. Warriors work it into the block, though. Megan Taraba on the board.
Yeah, nice job. Almost a little half hook there and beautiful kiss off the glass, and we've got a very tight competitive game so far.
Piscatelli handles the pressure, but a timeout taken by HB. Steve Klug, as you mentioned, in his first season running the program. Off to a nice start after what was just a disastrous year, and a lot of teams around the state and around the country experienced something similar to what Hathaway Brown did, but very limited practice time. Got put in quarantine, I believe, 3 or 4 times during the year, so when they actually took the floor in tournaments, had less than 10 games on the season. It was just a tough year. Couldn't get a lot of consistency and continuity.
Yeah, that was a very difficult time just because sheerly from the number of games and live action you saw, you can do all the inter-squad scrimmages and work that you want, but, nothing can compare to live action against a different opponent. But it seems like, they've been able to persevere through that, as many teams have, and finally getting a chance to get in a full season here so far.
Off the bounce, Lucy with the left hand. Pretty play.
Yeah, nice job just to keep that speed, keep her head down, and avoided the contact of all 3 Jesuit defenders and just able to get in there.
And how about the block on the perimeter? Tegan Clark making it tough for the shot. Jesuit, though, they've been quick to those 50-50 balls, and they're going to get some free throws out of these right here.
And did a nice job of collecting her own rebound and then finding her teammate. And that'll be Taraba knocking down the first of 2.
Megan puts away the second. All square, 10 apiece, midway through quarter number 1.
Passing lanes being cut off really well right now by Jesuit. They do a nice job of keeping those hands out.
how about the help side D by Taraba? Piscatelli met rudely in the lane. Now a chance for three at the other end. Garner can't connect. Last touched by Walsh Jesuit.
Yeah, you know, you could almost feel the thunder of that block last possession there for the Lady Warriors. Just take another look at it again, and it's a nice job to get all ball on that play.
Piscatelli calls for a screen, then gives it up to Jones. Clark baseline had it tipped. Third turnover of the opening corner for HB. But they gift it right back does Walsh. And Piscatelli this time can't track it down.
Yeah, it seems the ongoing trend with these home run balls is not equating to much success for the Lady Blazers. I know it's very tempting, especially when you get someone out in transition with space like that, but need to look to crack down on those turnovers that could, you know, be possibly part of the problem of why they cannot pull away yet early in this one.
Coach Klug calling for a more aggressive brand of defense. As Kara took a bump on the shot. She's got a couple of free throws coming her way.
And that'll be Jermani Jones' second foul early in this one, so I believe she will probably take a seat. Coach Klug doesn't want to risk picking up that third foul for her way too early in this first half. And she will sit down, and Carolyn will enter the game for her. Shot no good.
Split the pair, but the putback is available.
So Walsh returning to that full court pressure.
Blazers make light work of it as Piscatelli got to the rack. She's such an aggressive, athletic player for a sophomore. Starter last year as a freshman too, and programs like this where they've got state championship banners all over the gym. You know, it's probably a rarity, I would think, for HB to have a girl step in and be that type of a contributor right away.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of pressure, and especially at a place where a program is known for having such a rich history, and she definitely plays, you know, with the heart and effort, you know, double, triple her size. She's not scared and goes in and does the dirty work and picks up those fouls.
Quick transition game for the Warriors, trying to flip the floor. That one just did get snuck in down on the block, but a misfire for Walsh.
And I think it's really tempting for these Lady Blazers because Piscatelli gets down the court so quickly. She could be behind you, and in a blink of an eye, she's down here in the corner waiting for that pass, but displaying a little bit of patience, going to work and get set up here.
Lucy off the bounce out to Clark. They'll reset. Great action right here by the Blazers. Trying to keep the defense on the move. Jump stop in the lane. Lucy back to the right hand. Missed it, but Clark bailed her out.
Some great dribble moves displayed there, and they're going to retain possession on the offensive board.
Carolyn Jang with the pass out. Clark, top three-point threat on the squad. No bueno on that last attempt. Nearly a travel on the drive. Reagan Norton lost the handle. Jump ball is the call. Heading the other way.
Yeah, you take another look at that one. Just ball a little bit too slippery there. Got to get a jump ball, first one of the evening, and get the ball back in the hands of the Lady Blazers, who lead still, they trail still by one, so a tightly contested matchup so far.
Played in a lot of tight games this season too, have the Blazers. Coming off a loss just last night to Rocky River. Really close contest there. Quality Pirates squad too, 13-4 on the year. You mentioned that they lost at the Classic in the Country. That was against a 14-2 Northwest team. So HB's been competitive in their games against some of the top dogs, but they have not been able to really score a signature win on the season. I would say tonight will qualify if they can handle business at home against the Warriors.
I think so too. I think this would be one that you want to pick up here late in the season and just help yourself out head into the postseason.
Teagan off the bounce back iron. Rebound to Cordan. Pushing all the way. And Sutton fouled with 27 seconds to go here in what seems like a fast-moving first quarter.
Yeah, and speaking of fast-moving, I think Lucy was just moving a little bit too quick there. Went for that steal, just not able to slow down in time. No harm, no foul, only the team's third of the first quarter, her first.
Well, I can't speak to the harm, Hayden, but it definitely was a foul out there, my friends. The third team foul, as you mentioned. Great cut. Execution to the max. Sutton heading to the line for an N1.
And just like that, I believe that's going to be Lucy's second foul. So Jones and Castellanos with 2 early fouls, and with 24 seconds, I'm sure Coach has a decision here. Will he pull her the last 24 seconds or readdress that at the end of the quarter? But early foul trouble for a couple of their starters.
Looks like Lucy's going to stay on the floor here, like her on offense. See if the Blazers try to hold for the last shot of the frame. Gia calls for the screen. Lex to go opposite way and call for the travel. She was able to maneuver through some heavy traffic, but took an extra step to do it.
Yeah, you know, you'll take a look at it here nice and slow on our replay. Not able to navigate quite as crafty as she would have liked or she's accustomed to through the paint. And it will give the Lady Warriors one last shot here with 11.7 to go.
And so Lucy heads over to the bench. Molly Castellanos back into the mix. Walsh from the high post. Shot at the horn, good. If it goes, it won't, but they still lead by 4 as we head to the second. Jesuit on top, 16-12.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Four-point game as we open up second quarter action. Walsh Jesuit with the basketball trying to add to their 16-12 lead here in Shaker Heights at Hathaway Brown High School. My name is Brian Skowronski. Got Hayden Gray with me. And it's going to be Warriors ball. Again, those 50-50s have really been dominated tonight by Walsh so far.
Yeah, they've been a team with the quicker hands, and even when Hathaway's getting a chance to get in there and grab those, just haven't been able to execute as well, but they will get the defensive rebound and set up.
Lucy Castellanos back into the game with those 2 fouls. Works it in. Jones spinning, dealing, and uses every inch of the rim before it falls through.
Yeah, she makes her impact, and on her return to the court as well. 2 early fouls, but her 4th point of the night, and she's a huge presence in that paint for the Lady Blazers.
They work it around the world, do the Warriors, and they capitalize. Taylor Angelski from outside.
Yeah, and something the Lady Blazers were fairly content with allowing Mags to do when we were here last time was with that defense there, they really want to take away those passing lanes, but they're a little bit more content with letting you live at that three-point line and put shots up, and I think Walsh is proving so far this evening that they're going to make those fall and splash, so we'll see if they make any adjustments for that.
Little full court pressure here. Try to make it hard on the Blazers. Quick whistle. Travel against Germani.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, good call.
A little bit of a scuffle there. Picked up those feet before the dribble, and that will get you every time.
Largest lead right now for Walsh. Couldn't add to it.
I think nice quick passes so far this evening as Jones going to get her 6 points of the night, make this a 3-point ball game.
Fifth made bucket in the lane tonight for Hathaway Brown, but it's not as many as a three-pointer. Taylor Dolson off the bench, the senior, connects.
Yeah, they're having their way behind the arc this evening. That has been a huge contributor to those 22 points.
Block shot number 3 for the Warriors in this game. I believe that was Dolson too. So working it at both ends of the floor. Here's another look. Man, that was beautiful gooseneck on that follow through.
Yeah, you're just not able to, when you want to provide that double team on someone, you got to make sure the rest of the shooters around the arc aren't going to be able to drill that. And if you give her too open of a look, she's going to drill that one.
Get a foul on the floor before the inbound. It's going to go against Jesuit. First foul against Cecily Sutton tonight. Definitely seems like they feel the matchup that they want to attack right here is Germani Jones on who's ever guarding her.
I think you're right, and Jesuit believed that ball last touch Jones, but it's going to stay here with the Lady Blazers, and I think she's definitely being singled out a bit once she hops into that square and not able to get as easy of a look as she would like.
Jesuit in one of those amoeba zones, I think. Can't really tell what they're doing. Instead, it's Jones going inside, left hand off the square.
6 quick points for Jones here in the second quarter, so it's obvious they want to keep her out of foul trouble so she does not have to come off the court for an extended period of time like she did in the first.
Definitely leaving a lot of cushion beyond the arc, forcing Walsh to drive inside. And they've been doing some nice work on the interior. Here's Cordad. Chance for some more free throws.
As we take a look at the replay, just, a couple defenders there for the Lady Blazers. She forced the contact and is going to earn herself 2 free throws, and just finding different ways to make sure that they have that bit of cushion right now sitting at 4 points, but she will send it to 5.
Jesuit 4-6 from the free throw line so far this evening. And a little bit of noise on a free throw.
I was going to say, I thought on the last free throw that I was hearing something, but I believe we are hearing a bit of distraction that pays off.
HB3 on the way. Castellanos came up short. Nice attack. The spin, but a short shot for Sutton.
And both teams just love to run that floor, get back down in transition quickly.
Jones turns inside. Had it poked away. Turnover number 6 for Hathaway Brown. Athletic move by Taraba down the lane. Didn't come away with any points, and HB's going to give it away again.
Yeah, Piscatelli went for, it's one of those plays where if she connects on that pass, our reaction's completely different. I had a lot of speed on it one-handed, but just bounces off, and it's going to roll off Jermani Jones.
And that's what you're going to get with a sophomore running your offense. You got to take the good with the bad. Certainly she's aggressive all the time, though, so regardless of what age you are, you're going to have a couple of turnovers. And there's one right there, number 4 for the Warriors. Gia puts it up well short. The last touch by Walsh.
Yeah, just a bit short. Not something that she particularly does a lot, but she's going to take a bounce off the Lady Warriors.
Off the attack. In and out that time. Another wide open look for 3, and they continue to bury him from outside. And Jelski with her second triple of the night.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Klug, you got to evaluate, at the next timeout or something, just talk about what the girls are seeing out there, because those three-pointers got to put a stop to those.
Jones missed, collected it. She thought she got fouled. I could kind of tell by the look on her face.
Fighting for those offensive boards, and it's going to pay off. Although it's a jump ball, they will retain possession.
HB in their deepest hole of the evening. 8-point differential right now. Got just 6 points here in the frame as we're midway through. That'll help.
Another nice job by Castellanos, and sometimes you forget which one just scored, but that was Lucy there, getting another bucket tonight, up to 6 points.
Almost nearing that 10-second mark, so a timeout taken on the floor by Coach Maggie Ferrando. Just be a 30-second TO. And if the Blazers can make a basket, I really like their full court pressure. Seems like it's given Walsh Jesuit some problems at times here this evening. Certainly did on that last possession.
Yeah, I think take some of that quickness that we're seeing in transition when I want to get back to the offensive end and apply that to that defensive side of the ball, split those up a little bit more. And I think, that might be a good way to get out that little bit of impatience and use it in a productive way so that everything can just flow and come together nice and smoothly. And they will set up into full court pressure.
Got a 2-2-1 on right now. And it looks like the Blazers looking to attack every pass to the wing with a trap if they can get there in time. Foul on the floor. On the arm. Celia Bullock, I believe, whistled for the personal.
And that is the one danger that you risk when you're running that, just the flailing of the arms. Inevitably, someone's going to make some contact somewhere. You just hope it's not seen or not big enough to issue a foul, but officiating crew going to give the Lady Blazers their 6th foul, so Walsh just one away from the single bonus.
Dangerous pass. Now they get it inside the kick out. Angelski got her man to leave her feet.
Blazers doing a nice job of forcing that ball to stay around the perimeter.
So aggressive out on the edge.
She
What a take, Abby Gardner to the cup.
Yeah, that was kind of very similar to that play down here on the other end. Just the footwork, though, a bit more crafty.
Jesuit, anybody that gets it off the glass can basically initiate the offense. That time it was Megan Taraba. And that's why they've got a 10-point cushion. Done an excellent job on their defensive rebounds of turning it into pressuring the Blazers. That's why I mentioned when they score, they've done a good job of getting their half-court set put together, or their full court, I should say. Because when they get out on the run, this Jesuit team has been dangerous tonight.
Yeah, I think that that's something, and I almost want to attribute to youth and inexperience, but as we talked about, both of these are very young teams, so I think that might just be one of those things where so far, you know, chemistry is clicking more so for the Lady Warriors. They found what they like to do tonight, and they've been able to adapt and overcome to some of those defensive pressures and different looks that the Lady Blazers are giving them. And I think that if HB can just settle in a little bit more and realize, okay, we don't want to let it grow past 10, let's get back to what we know, what we started the game off with.
Might be key 2 minutes, 18 seconds here for these Blazers. Try to cut down into the deficit before you head into the half. A little bit of confidence, some momentum on your side. Got a good shot at it. And the loose ball out of bounds. Gardner couldn't keep it in.
I think it's just a very eager level of play that sometimes you're almost moving your body before you're giving yourself time to make the motion you intended to. So Lady Blazers able to keep the ball.
They'll initiate the offense through the wing. Lucy inside. Jones mishandled it. Lucy so crafty with that left hand off the bounce. Got in tight. Switch to the right for the shot, though. Three straight away. Bottoms up. It continues to rain.
Yeah, she just had a wide open look. You could see she was just a bit forgotten about by HB there, getting back in transition. A nice open look.
Blazers trying to match at the other end. They will. Tegan Clark from the corner.
Yeah, we haven't said Tegan Clark's name too many times this evening, but a nice presence there. Finds that corner and able to keep this back at 10.
Approaching the 1 minute mark here of quarter number one. Sneaking in behind the defense and heading to the free throw line is Taraba yet again.
Yeah, you'll take a look here. Garner had a nice view of that, almost the same angle from our view up here on the balcony, and she just slipped that one in there. Have to put a little bit of rotation and speed on it. Didn't result in a bucket, but they will go to the line.
First one is cash for Megan.
Tremonti Jones will sit down for what I would assume would be the final minute of the quarter. Molly Castellanos will check in for her.
Perfect pair at the free throw line. Dozen-point cushion here for the Warriors. Off to a great start on the road.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely be content with where they're at here at the half. It's a unique place to play, a different environment, a different atmosphere.
Back-to-back three-pointers on the offensive end now for Clark.
And Hathaway Brown showing that something that you've been stressing, the points are there. If they can just get buckets and put both ends together, I think they give themselves a chance to make this a closer game again.
Just look at all that space.
Yeah, almost daring her to go ahead and pull the trigger on that one, and a good decision as Clark will now have 6 points on the evening.
And Tegan, I believe, has made more threes than anybody else on the Blazer squad this season. So not the girl that you want to leave alone beyond the arc.
And a chance to dive into this 9-point gap a little bit more.
Foul's going to go against Walsh. Probably could have went either way that time, so a little bit of a break here for Hathaway Brown. And as you mentioned, they close it within 9. This is a pretty big opportunity for them. Get a 2, maybe even a 3. Feel good about yourself heading into the lockers.
Yeah, you want to, make the hill as flat as you can that you have to climb coming out of halftime. So go find another bucket, try and eat up a little bit of this 20 seconds.
Maggie, fresh off the bench, can't hit it. Big sister missed in tight as well. But Lucy comes away, still plenty of time, 10 seconds to go.
She will hold for a little bit.
And now Tegan skipped past Maggie again. Thought about it, knocked out of her hands, and that's going to take us to the break. Hathaway Brown trailing by 9, but closing with a little bit of momentum here after an excellent second quarter by Walsh Jesuit. Keep it with us at halftime. We'll be back with some stats analysis and get you ready for quarter number 3. You're watching live and free girls high school hoops exclusively on the OH Report.
Hi, I'm OH Report founder Brian Skowronski, and you were just watching live and free girls high school hoops exclusively on the OH Report. But stick around, the halftime show is next, including stats, analysis, and so much more, including the second half on the way. We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part of the game.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Halftime here at Hathaway Brown, where it's a 9-point differential on the scoreboard right now. Walsh Jesuit with a 35-26 advantage. And they've been getting it done in a few different avenues of the game. Shooting well, but definitely when they run that transition. You know, this is a team that's tough to stop because anybody that gets the rebound trying to initiate the break right now, Hayden, it's paying off.
Yeah, you know, we talked a little bit before pregame. You had a chance to go down and talk to their coach, and she said, you know, it's hard to really game plan for this Walsh team because they don't have that one player who, you know, statistically is that leader any given night. They just have girls who kind of, you know, have that on night or get help from a variety of them. So combine that with the threes they've been able to knock down tonight, it's been a bit unpredictable for the Blazers to know who to key in on. So I think that, you know, is a big contributor to why they sit at a 9-point advantage.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers. As we just saw a half-court shot made by Episcatelli. I saw that was on the back of her uniform.
Nice.
And the field goals in favor of Walsh. They've got the 5 3-pointers, though. That's huge. And then the giveaways. 7 for HB. A couple of times Jesuit was able to capitalize on those, turn them into points at the other end. They're also doing a lot of damage in the paint where they're getting sent to the free throw line. Second chance opportunities really paying off right now for the Warriors. Big reason why they're almost leading by double digits here as a team walking out on the floor right now.
Yeah, you know, I think that even though they've only made 2 more 3-pointers than HB, they've just had that impact. You know, that's 6 points as to why they're up by 9, but getting to that charity strike, they've been able to knock down 3 more free throws. And if you're on the other side, the last time we were here and saw Hathaway Brown, I think they had almost the same amount of turnovers in about the first half of the first quarter of that game. So far, they've done a better job turnover-wise tonight, but I just feel like pace of play is a bit rushed. I think they are still looking to get settled in, if you must say, and we'll see if they come out with any different strategy or defensive moves in the second half.
Talks about how hard it is to really key on who to stop for Walsh Jesuit right now. Angelski's got 9. She leads the way. 7 points right now for Taraba. 6 for Abby Gardner. And then a bunch of girls scattered with a bucket apiece. And they don't go real deep into the bench. Haven't had to so far here tonight, and not really something that they've done a lot during the season. They play about 7 or 8 girls on a consistent basis, and you just open them up like a box of chocolates, like Coach said, and just, hey, who's ever showing out, we'll try to feed that hot hand. But definitely we can see that they're confident with just about anybody getting the ball off the glass, trying to spark the offense, get from one end to the other. Been pretty impressed with what we've seen from them so far. You can obviously notice why they're just a 2-loss team at this point in the season.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, too. We talked a little bit about, you know, we don't get to see or watch in person too many times, too many Division I programs. And while this may look like a lower scoring or feel like a slower game, I think it just attests to it's a different, not so much style, but just different level of competition. And especially with the youth we see on both sides, that is one of the perks too. Okay, we don't have to have just one who's a 15, 20 point per night type girl, that they're letting them find themselves right now, and they're getting success with that too. But that'll be something moving forward they're able to build around and develop the offense they want. So I think it's safe to say for sure that these are 2 teams we'll definitely be hearing about in the next few seasons as well on top of this year.
Walsh Jesuit already making noise right now, looking for their 4th consecutive win. They opened up the season with a loss to Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's. A lot of teams tend to lose to the Irish. After that, 8 consecutive dubs, Hayden, before North Ridgeville tripped them up 61-56. That's a school also with 12 wins on the season. The Lady Warriors haven't lost since. Looks like they're in good position to try to take another victory here tonight. While on the flip side, the Blazers, it's been a bit more of an up and down type of campaign for them. Losers last night here at home to a really good Rocky River team. 13 wins for them overall. And they've gone on some short spurts where they'll have a couple wins in a row, but then they'll lose a tough game like we saw when we were here last time to Magnificat. So the consistency in terms of putting together a bunch of wins in a row just hasn't been available for the Blazers, but man, they do play a killer schedule. A lot of good teams on their schedule.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that benefits them a lot too, and I believe Last night it was on our broadcast, our own Gray Collins was talking about the idea of in basketball when we all know, despite our record, you're going to get at least one postseason game. Why not take advantage of scheduling yourself a bit of a more uphill, difficult schedule, because those games will only benefit you in the long run once you have to face tougher opponents like that in the postseason. So we talked earlier about how this win could be that one for the Blazers that they're able to check off and say we got it done, and then take a look at our close losses to those impressive teams. So I like the idea that they have really had to go through a gauntlet this year, and that's just going to help them in the long run.
Walsh themselves play a pretty spectacular schedule.
Yes.
And they've got the basketball here to open up quarter number 3. Start with Taraba. And Walsh noticing the HBs appearing to show a man-to-man defense to start.
Yeah, still giving a little bit more comfort or cushion than I would expect if any of these ladies would decide to shoot, a little bit of a deep three. Not quite where she's standing right now. That would be quite the shot, but a little bit more lax around that line. Not as much movement here.
Already 35 seconds gone by here on this opening possession. That will lead to a turnover. So at first, Walsh was in no hurry. Gardner all of a sudden tried to take matters into her own hands. And I think last off of her foot, out of bounds.
Yeah, that definitely feels like that was the longest offensive possession for either side of the evening. So something neither side's really accustomed to, having to chew clock or use much time. They're very quick-paced teams. So we'll see how they're able to handle the pressure of really needing to find patience.
Jones with the kick out. 3 from Gia. Won't find its mark. But a mishandle there off the offensive board from Molly Castellanos. But Walsh returns the favor at the other end, and it's like having 2 wide open receivers. You go deep and it lands right in between.
And I'm going to say it again, 3rd time this evening, and it has not worked. So maybe slow down a bit. We just talked about patience, and we'll see. Because this is a game for the Blazers getting 2 right there that you're willing to play. You're willing to use more time, and, it's a 7-point game. You get your points, force a stop at the defensive end.
8 points now for Lucy Castellanos. As Walsh continues to work the offensive glass, get a couple of them here before Jones finally squeezes it. They're going to say that was last touched by the Warriors. So Hathaway Brown will maintain possession here.
Again, a 7-point game. Every bucket is going to count, help bring that margin back down. But that miss will not do that.
Off the bounce, how about the setup by Sutton? Couple of offensive boards later, and a block by Molly Castellanos.
Piscatelli's right where she left off from the first half, wanting to get ahead. Nice pass to Jones.
Had her shot altered. The kick out, lucky to find the hands of Gia. And she'll back it out, slow it down, try to get HB into a set here. Jones with the shot from the foul line. Can't connect. Tipped right back to her, and one opportunity on the way for Germani.
And that's just the spark they need. That's going to send her to 10 points on the evening. Their only double-digit score out of that big 3 we alluded to that's been averaging in the double digits from the pregame, and they need that spark. They need, whether it's just one play or not, that fuels your teammates a little bit. Got to potentially make this one back down to a 4-point game pending her free throw.
Cordad picked up the personal. That's going to be her first. As Taraba heads over to the bench, and Jones knocks down the free throw. Just a 4-point game now. So we're approaching the 5-minute mark, quarter number 3. Everyone went straight up that time for the Blazers, which was good. They didn't foul, but at the same time, nobody got a body on a body to block out. It's already 5 offensive rebounds, I believe, for Jesuit here in the frame.
Yeah, and and the Blazers have size down low, just not doing the best job of grabbing that ball, but doing a good job of knocking down that 3 right there to make it a 1-point game.
Big shot from Molly Castellanos. First points of the night for the sophomore. Double team down low. Gia shoots in. Almost picked the pocket. And that's a whole lot of space from Molly. Didn't even think about it. No hesitation. Brought her Blazers within a point.
Yeah, great form. You see she leaves that, offhand, not the shooting hand, but when you leave that up like that, you're going to give yourself some much better trajectory, get a good spin on that ball.
That one in and out for Angelski. It's already made a few threes tonight.
And again, we've talked about the quietness of this gym. I kind of feel like I could hear Coach Klug emphasizing that patience we've been talking about because you see what it's producing.
I definitely just heard him say attack, attack, attack when Gia had it at the top. She did that. Offensive rebound, no stick back though. So Walsh stays ahead by 1, trying to add to it here. Mid-range J, good for Garner.
A much-needed bucket for the Lady Warriors. They need to remind themselves, they can get it done from the field. They've been getting those offensive boards in the paint, just not been able to get it on the glass.
Turnover by the Blazers. It's going to lead to points. Cordad with the basket off the square. And Walsh now on a 4-0 run. Here's Gia going deep. This time they connect with her, and she'll coast in for the scoop.
Can't blame them for that one. If the defense is going to bring pressure up that much, someone like Piscatelli can definitely get down there and turn on the afterburners and get a quick 2.
Molly Castellanos called for the bump on the floor. She just kind of moves like a deer, that Gia Piscatelli. Not necessarily a run per se. She gallops out there and a lot of speed too. I'm guessing that she's probably the fastest Blazer on the floor.
Yeah, it's almost a gallop glide, and it just gets down the court really quickly.
That one went off of the restraints for Dolson. Big cheers from the bench. So Carolyn Jang was the ringleader.
Walsh staying in that same area.
And they're going deep again. This time picked off.
Yeah, I think Walsh had a little bit of an idea that that might be coming and played right into their hands. Not able to connect on the offensive side, though.
Clark takes matters into her own hands. Big block shot, her second of the night. Possession back now with HB. Excellent ball movement, leads to Lucy. Misfiring. Nice step through. Excellent body control by Garner.
Yeah, a great job there, not only to go backhanded, but I don't even know if her eyes were looking at the hoop when she laid that one in. And Walsh is going to get the ball back on the turnover. Well, let's take a look at that one more time. Just a tough angle there.
And you can tell the Blazers certainly have been instructed by their coaching staff to just go straight up whenever somebody comes into the lane. And at times it leaves them a little bit flat-footed. I think kind of led to that last Euro step being so successful, as we're going to get a timeout. Coach Ferrando. Just a 30. And we've got a ball game, Hayden. A lot of signs of life here for Hathaway Brown, but you know that Walsh, they're going to get theirs at times too. So some good back and forth action here in the third. Started off a little bit slow, since then, HB kind of taken off. Walsh finding their stride here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, you know, Walsh, they had a bit of a slower start to that third quarter. Offense was moving a little bit slower just with the defensive adjustments that, you know, HB came out in. So I think they're kind of back in that quick groove that they prefer to play in, a little bit of that run and gun game where they're just able to get up some quick shots or drive through the lane. And then if you're on the other side, I feel like there's some similarities to when HB was able to fight back in that game against Magnificat. Weren't able to get the job done, but I feel like there's this lingering feeling that's resembling that contest. So we'll see if they're able to get over the hump, though, and gain a lead or sit at 5 points.
Blazers definitely always seem to be loitering on the scoreboard. They're hanging around constantly within striking range. Sticking with the man-to-man defense. Strong move on the block. Pays off for two with Taraba.
Yeah, and like you said, I think, you know, it's clear that they have been coached up to keep those hands straight up, which is fantastic. But, you know, maybe the physicality needs to be stepped with a little bit more. We're almost through the third quarter. I think, you know, Jones shouldn't have to fear too much of what picking up that third foul would be. But speaking of picking up threes.
That's a big one right there. The second of the night for Clark. All of her points from beyond the arc.
Slight delay, not quite able to pick up on what the officials said.
I believe it's a delay of game against Hathaway Brown that always goes as a warning for the first time, then results in a technical if you do it again. So it's like when your mom tells you not to slack on your chores. You normally get a warning at first.
Yeah.
But then if the dishes ain't done when she gets home from work. Appeared to go off the hand of Sutton. So it'll be Blazer basketball. Trailing by just 4. 50 seconds to go here in the third.
So again, very similar to halftime. Have a chance here at the end of the quarter to make this a very manageable game.
Look at the ball movement. It was almost like a drill. Castellanos had to take a tough shot, though. But she stuck with Gardner. Helped force the turnover. Teagan end-to-end. Can't hit. Piscatelli will, though.
Nice job. Picked that one up the hard way, but Piscatelli able to drill that nice short jumper. We got a 2-point game with 10 seconds and counting.
Beautiful ball handling to get through all that traffic by Taraba, but it resulted in a giveaway.
And here we are with just about 6 seconds left. Hathaway with a chance to tie this one up or take the lead.
And look at the cushion that they're giving Piscatelli now after she's gotten deep a couple of times and burnt her. They'll send Germani to the other end. Didn't target her, though. As that one off target. And we will head to the fourth quarter. Just a one-possession game at Hathaway Brown.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Fourth quarter action, a.k.a. money time on the OH Report. That's right. Who's going to be cashing checks here tonight with the game on the line? HB's played themselves back into the game. Blazers trail by 2 with the rock, 43-41. Walsh Jesuit on top. My name is Brian. I got a guy named Hayden with me calling the game tonight. That's a girl named Gia, putting it up a couple of inches shy where it needed to be to go through the net. But Jesuit turns it over, and they're starting to pile up for him. Had just 4 in the first half, 5 here in the second, and still 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy passing, a little bit of rushed passing, but great pass there on the other end. Jermani Jones on the receiving end, got to tie this one up. And another turnover.
Wow. Lucy with the rip, fake, left-handed shot, buckets. Lead changing hands.
Lucy going to become the 3rd leading scorer on the evening with 10. That's 3 in double digits for the Lady Blazers. So something we talked about. If Walsh wants to get back in this game, they need to keep their eye on those 3.
That one off the front of the iron. Another offensive rebound, though, for Walsh. Make it 2 on this possession. Can't put it through. And the Blazers going to come away with the basketball. But, boy, they are really struggling to keep Walsh off the offensive glass.
Yeah, if you want to rebound down on Walsh's end, you really got to fight for it, and that's a credit to their effort. They are just getting constant second chance looks, not able to cash in on any there.
Jones sizing up her man. Now gives off Molly with the skip pass. Not a lot going on here on this offensive position for Hathaway Brown, and I think that's kind of a fitting end. Cord had with a big piece of Lucy taking it to the rack.
Yeah, there just wasn't much movement. They were kind of ISO'd to one side, and Walsh wasn't backing down. They weren't going to accommodate that setup, and although it's going to stay on the side of the Blazers, Walsh looking for that same pressure.
Molly catches it high, lets it rip. And now Jesuit, when they have sped up here in the second half, it's definitely gotten very sloppy. But they're going to say last touch by Hathaway Brown, or no?
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a discussion. Players not even assured yet who's going to retain possession. And it does appear it will stay with the Warriors.
I think they changed their minds about 4 times right there.
It's not like a close game or anything, Brian.
Lucy got a piece like a safety watching traffic switch. Teagan will have 2 free throws. Would have been a really acrobatic finish as she got bumped in midair. Nice catch, too. And a lot of contact there with Sutton, so 2 free throws on the way.
Yeah, that was a nice example there from Clark of, having to adjust in midair, mid-jump to corral that one in.
Just the second miss from the free throw line tonight for HB. They've only made 4, though, so it hasn't been a huge factor for them tonight.
Yeah, we're sitting here in the 4th quarter. Only 1 team foul for Hathaway and 2 for the Lady Warriors. They do have numbers.
And they've got another offensive rebound. The stick back to Raba this time. Closes the deficit back down to 1.
Yeah, great, just fast-twitched reactions there from Taraba. She grabbed that board and no later already had that one going back down through the bucket.
Lucy with some clean acceleration. Now Jones kicks it out to her. Piscatelli from the corner. Jump ball, going to be heading the other way.
So the rebounding effort for the Warriors tonight has, got to give them a chance to benefit from that. It's got to pay off. They'll get possession on the jump ball. Hathaway bringing the full court pressure, but you don't want to get caught sleeping and give up numbers.
That's a wide open look, and dude, this girl is just eating them alive inside. Megan Taraba, another offensive rebound. Num, 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 num.
Yeah, she is just snagging a lot of boards, and again, that's going to be something they need to lean on to get them second chance points. If they like to shoot and are still going to continue to struggle a bit as they have in the second half, her boards will be crucial. They'll bring in Molly Castellanos back into the game. She provides a bit of height to see if they're able to keep up with the rebounding.
All even, 46 apiece, just under 5 minutes to go. As Lucy dribbles herself out of danger. Excellent find, and Teagan puts it home.
Yeah, Teagan Clark snuck right up there and has a quiet 9 points and looking to be the 4th double-digit scorer for the Blazers tonight. So that balance took a little bit to get going. Engine took a little bit to start. It's cold outside today, but the heat has been turned up in the gym.
Open look. No bueno, but wow, remind me if you've seen this before. Megan Taraba with the Windex.
And that's Taraba's 14th point on the evening, and got to be pretty darn close to the same figure in rebounds here just from this second half.
Will someone tell the Blazers that there's a girl wearing 31 on a jersey that needs blocked out? Well, they just caught a break.
Yeah.
Megan's sitting out for a little bit now.
Yeah, big substitution. They would like to take advantage of this.
Stunned by that.
Yeah,
she has been killing them inside.
We'll see how long her break lasts. And perfect time coming. I believe we'll have a timeout.
It's going to be a full timeout taken by HB, the first of the second half. It's been a fun, exciting third and now midway through the fourth quarter so far. Hathaway Brown wasn't sure what we were going to get from them out of the break. Actually, I kind of was. This is kind of their MO, Hayden. That they get behind, it seems like, in a lot of their contests when they're playing against these good teams, but they always battle back, keep throwing punches, and tie ball game here, 4 minutes to go. Can't ask for much better if you're the Blazers, and if you're us or the viewing audience, this is what you live for in money time. Just a hard-fought game with two teams going back and forth, and not sure who's going to get the upper hand at the end of this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. 4 minutes to go, and we're all notched back up. At halftime, I don't know if I would have said we would be in this position, but here we are, and I think that's just fantastic. You have both these youthful programs going at it. These past few years, last year and this year, they don't often play each other in back-to-back seasons. Over that 10-year, 11-year span, it's kind of been every other. So Hathaway looking to get some revenge on last year, but Walsh still trying to show that they kind of own this rivalry.
Definitely playing hard on the perimeter, leads the Teagan open. Kind of came sideways off her hand a bit. Nobody in picture. Garner short-armed it, though, and wow, the Blazers hold them to a one and done. Haven't seen that in a while.
No, we definitely attribute that to the substitution that was made, I believe.
Teagan cross-court pass. Lucy. A lot of airspace around her, and maybe too much.
Sometimes that can be, you're out there on your own island, tie ball game with 3 minutes. That pressure is a lot to handle, especially for some of these youngsters.
Who's going to step up and be a hero here in crunch time? 3:10 to go. Spinning and losing was Garner. Here's Lucy coasting him with the left-handed layup.
She's really shined so far here this evening. Doing a nice job, not rushing that one too much there.
Dozen points for Lucy. That's over her season average of 10. Huge board inside for Jones. Back-to-back one-and-dones now for the Blazers. Leads to Piscatelli halfway down.
Really great look on the no-look pass. If she was able to connect that, would have been truly one of those top plays. Piscatelli's jumper wasn't going to fall, but Tremonti Jones picks up the foul.
It's going to be called against Taylor Angelski. Just her first of the night, and as you mentioned, neither side in foul trouble. That's just 4 team fouls now for Walsh. 1 for the Blazers in this entire second half. We're almost done with regulation.
And I believe Taraba has checked back in for the Lady Warriors.
Yeah, that was the right decision. She's defending up top right now. Such a versatile threat. And a bump foul on the floor. Cecily Sutton going to be called for the personal.
That'll be her third, team fourth. So with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, the bonus still, a lingering factor, but the pace that we've been seeing fouls, not sure either team will reach, but it does look like we have a bit of discussion about the number of team fouls.
Well, they put it up on the scoreboard that it went against the Blazers, when in fact it should be team foul number 5 against Walsh.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Blazers working around the perimeter. Lucy. Wow, what a crossover! Castellanos. Woo!
And I think I'm going to give her the nickname the crafty Castellanos. You just take a look at some of her decision-making, the ball fakes, the dribbling. She's just really put together a really solid game for them tonight.
Monster bucket stretches it out to a 4-point advantage. I don't think HB's had a 2-possession lead all night. Megan's been so good, they tried to get it to her on her backside.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you're going to get a rebound once she's on the court is if she's on the ground and still had a chance to fight at that one. So,
don't know that I've ever seen an entry pass for a girl that had 0 feet on the ground.
I think, the only time I've seen it was unintentional, but it looked like a little bit of tension there nonetheless.
So, key possession here for HB. No need to be in a hurry either.
Not at all, Brian. You want to try and eat as much clock as you can, and that is killer.
Yeah. Don't like the decision by the sophomore that time. But an offensive foul. We're headed the other way.
A good chance to, go ahead and make up on that mistake right there. Plants her feet, picks up the charge. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds now, if you're Coach Klug, you're really emphasizing, smart decisions, smart passes here.
Lucy putting the team on her back right now, too. Making the big plays in the big moments. Now she's heading deep. She's got a step. And she's got the bucket. Timeout taken by HB. Their largest lead of the game, and it comes at a great time, $114. How many times have we seen this?
Wow.
The deep pass. It's like Patty Mahomes out there trying to hook up with Tyreek Hill. Beautiful stuff.
I mean, those moments, kind of take away and bump the scale back up towards the times they haven't worked tonight. We'll take one more look. Totally a risky decision there with 1 minute and 14, but I mean, if these moments continue to work out in HB's favor, maybe we'll be looking at a football team, maybe, you never know, maybe added to the arsenal here of athletics at Hathaway Brown, but 1 minute and 14, Brian, what needs to be done if Jesuit wants to give themselves any shot of cracking into this 6-point lead and sending this one to another possession or getting the win?
It starts at the offensive end. Of course, you need to get some points, not necessarily a 3-pointer just yet. I think there's enough time that you can still try to get a 2-pointer. And, hey, you know that you got a girl who's willing to go work for a board off of the glass if you don't make your first initial shot. And then after that, I think you foul right away. Try to make it a free throw game. You have one foul to give, and then you put Hathaway Brown into the single bonus. So I think you try to keep as much time on the clock as possible when you're on defense and then force the Blazers to try to knock them down. This is a big possession here, though, for Walsh. And it looks like there's a lot of confusion. Coach not real happy out of the break.
Yeah, rotation a little lacking. Not sure if they knew what play they wanted to run.
But Clark holds him to a one and done. That's the last foul to give.
Yeah, you take a look one more time. They weren't too slow, like you just said, to go ahead, get that foul out of the way, and then try and, you know, maybe give themselves a few seconds to try and look for a steal here. But if not, they want to get into that single bonus as fast as they can.
Blazers would love to get the ball into the hands of either Castellanos or Piscatelli.
Yeah, a couple girls who could definitely run around and eat up a few more extra seconds.
The bump from Taraba is going to put Lucy on the free throw line. The last girl I think that you want in this situation if you're Walsh. She's just brimming with confidence right now.
Yeah, and Taraba will pick up her 4th foul, and you know, you can decide for yourself the importance of what she's been doing tonight. But you know, for Brian and myself, definitely think, you know, she's been a crucial part. So you really want to look to her not to pick up that 5th foul.
Oh, Gia with a reach in there. Just the 3rd team foul, though, for HB. So Walsh Jesuit not nearing the bonus anytime soon. They need to capitalize here with some points, no question, as we're approaching just a half minute to go in regulation.
And I know they've had success from around the three-point arc tonight, but I think you want to do just that right there. It doesn't always have to be a three-pointer when you're looking, you know, at a 4-point game, a 5-point game. It doesn't always have to come all in one shot. It's not going to, so work away, try and take some of that down in small chunks.
Gia quickly picks up her 2nd now. Lands Megan on the free throw line, 2-shot foul. First, nothing but net.
Obviously a big shot here coming up. This could cut it back down to a 4-point game with just under 26 seconds to go.
Comes up short, another big rebound. It's by Castellanos this time, who just missed the front end of the 1-and-1. So a chance to totally redeem herself on this possession.
Yeah, I think Walsh likes the strategy that we were talking about of trying to drag this out as long as you can. Try and force them to play the free throw game.
Paid off last time. Big spot here for Lucy, and we better keep it down. She puts it on. HB 6 of 8 from the charity stripe tonight. Oh, producer almost turned my mic down. Got a little carried away there. Lucy not phased. Top scorer in the contest with 18. And Gia, I think, is going to seal the deal right there. Just too many free throws in the second half by Walsh. They had just 4 at halftime, 9 here in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about that being a difference maker for the Warriors and how they were able to build that 9-point lead heading into the break. And now, given some of these fouls have had to come in the last minute, though, you know, HB's been able to take advantage as Piscatelli knocks down the first of 2.
Gia's had a solid performance, dozen points for her. The big 3, as you alluded to, all in double figures tonight. Combining for 43, make it 44 points.
And Tegan Clark, that elusive 4th member, averaging 9 a game. She's at 9 right now, so almost double digits herself.
Bodies down on the floor, leads to a HB rebound and a victory, a big one. Second night of a back-to-back for the Blazers, and they take care of business. Arguably their signature win of the season, giving Walsh Jesuit just their 3rd L of the campaign. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back. That young lady right there, number 14, is going to be our MVP of the night. We'll catch up with Lucy for a post-game interview. Also have some stats, some analysis, and then get you into your comfy beds for the evening. Keep it locked in here. We'll return live and free, exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Back now with our MVP of the game, junior Lucy Castellanos. 18 points, a lot of those coming in the fourth quarter. You were really clutch tonight. Talk to me about your mindset when the game was on the line. It really felt like you kind of took the team on your back, willed them to a victory.
I think just coming out of halftime, our team wanted to focus on defense, and our defense always transitions to our offense. And we got a couple buckets in transition, and I think that changed the momentum of the game.
Yeah, things weren't necessarily going great for you guys in that first half. You were turning it over a bit. They were getting on the offensive glass. What do you think you were able to do a little bit differently in the last two quarters to get yourself a victory tonight?
Again, like I said before, I think our defense was what killed us in the first half, and they got up by, I think it was about 9 at halftime. And I think just steals, deflections, little stuff like that, you can change the momentum of a game. Like we had a charge at the end. I think that got us about 4 points in transition, and I think that's what ended up getting us the win.
You guys have been really competitive against some of the top teams that you've had on your schedule, but really no signature wins, it didn't seem like, until tonight. How good does it feel just collectively as a unit to knock off a team like Walsh Jesuit here on your home surface?
This was a big one, especially considering we only got one more home game. This was a big one to get out for us, so I'm really proud of us.
And it leaves an impression in the mind of the coaches as you get ready for a tournament draw now. So tell me about the team's focus moving forward, and what are you guys looking forward to as we do get closer to tournament action?
Each game, the next game is the most important one, so we're just looking into Gilmore on Saturday, and we want to get the last 3 wins before we go into playoffs, and we want to make a run in playoffs. That's our goal.
All right, well, it all starts with a big win here tonight. Lucy Castellanos, our MVP. Go ahead if you want to look up into the camera and give a shout out to anybody who might be watching out there.
Shout out to my grandma who may be watching. Thank you for watching.
All right, thanks for your time, Lucy. Appreciate it. We'll throw it up to Hayden now. He's got your stats.
All right, well, welcome back up. And just momentarily before we get to those statistics, we are going to go ahead and take a look at our other contest that is going on tonight. You know, the Lady Bulldogs of East Knox are hosting the Loudonville Lady Redbirds. Our very own Travis Berardi, Garrett Parlett are down there this evening on the call. That game, a very important game, a big non-conference battle, and a very intriguing score that we're going to take a look at in just a moment. And then we're going to get those stats compiled and totaled up for you. As you see, my play-by-play tonight is join us. You see with a 38-32 lead over East Knox right now. That game 3 minutes through the third quarter. Lady Redbirds looking to get another marquee win, but East Knox is as well. And you're also this Lady Redbirds squad, a team that you're going to see tomorrow as well as they take on Crestview here on the OH Report. So as you see, another bucket. Loudonville going to jump out to a 10-point lead, and we are going to take a short break. Be right back with those final stats, so keep it here. We'll be back just after a short break. You're watching basketball live and free right here on the OH Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We guarantee nobody else gets you closer to the action than our exclusive coverage. So give me a call, Brian Skowronski, and let's make you a part.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
What a fourth quarter for Hathaway Brown here at home. They knock off visiting Walsh 58-49 in a monster performance by our MVP, Lucy Castellanos. I'm Brian Skowronski with Hayden Gray here to wrap things up on the postgame. And just a phenomenal effort all the way around by HB in the second half. Love what Lucy had to say, that it was just all about picking it up defensively. And that's what they were able to do. Capitalized, turning a lot of defense into some offense, especially at the end of the game, and then knocking down 3 3-pointers in the second half, none made by the Warriors. I thought that was a big difference.
Yeah, that was a big difference because I think we kind of touched on that being one of the keys to how Walsh was able to get that lead in the first half. They looked like they were unstoppable from around the three-point arc, but obviously second half wasn't as successful. And I think you said it well and had a great talk with Lucy. I think she's one of those players that, you know, has really just embraced her role and kind of sees her identity in this offense. And on any given night, you know, one of these girls is going to score inevitably a little bit more than the others. But I think she really just stepped into that leadership role tonight as well. Those points obviously important, but, you know, on a young squad, You wonder who's going to step up and be the leader, and it doesn't have to be the same every night, and she took that role tonight and really helped them get a big resume win for them that's going to help. You know, they only have a few more games left this season, so this is definitely one they didn't want to let slip away.
And I appreciate what she said, too, when I said, what's the focus as you're getting closer to tournament time? And she's like, just the next game. We want to get dubs every single time we take the floor. They just have 3 left, and from looking at what we've seen with our own eyes about Hathaway Brown and then the teams that are remaining on their schedule, they probably can make a run heading into tournament time where they're on a 4-game win streak and have some big plans for what they can do in the postseason.
Yeah, I think so too. They've had that, you know, non-conference schedule, and they've had even their conference opponents. They play very difficult, you know, top-tier programs that will allow them to have that experience that is hard to get when you're just a freshman or sophomore or junior, and they'll be able to carry that against some teams who aren't necessarily worse, but they're not as great as the competition they've seen this year, so they could even potentially string together a couple of tournament wins this year. You never know.
All right, so give me some parting thoughts on Walsh Jesuit, seeing them for the first time this year.
I think Walsh, you know, they seem very solid. I think that we saw some of the weaknesses tonight, but I think you can say the same for HB, and we're going to see that any given night, but I really like what they were able to do in the paint. I mean, their rebounding game, even, you know, they just did a really nice job grabbing all those offensive rebounds and weren't able to get as many second chance points as they would like, but I think they're another quick team, another young team, and if they can keep that 3-point, you know, percentage up all game long, that gives themselves a really good shot any night.
I didn't track offensive rebounds tonight, but of the 23 that I did have, I would guess probably 40-45% of those were at the offensive end. So they were right in there until that fourth quarter, and then Castellanos happened. Lucy took over. That was the story of the game, according to me. All right, want to thank everybody out there for watching tonight. For the last time, that's your final score, 58-49. That's what's coming up next for both of these squads. Walsh going to be heading home to take on Belmont. At Gilmore Academy on Saturday is where Hathaway Brown is headed. And then they will wrap up their final game at home next Wednesday, senior night versus Beaumont. So again, a good opportunity for them to close out with a couple of big wins on the season heading into the playoffs. Tomorrow night on the OH Report, Loudonville at Crestview. It's going to be a fun one. We got the Redbirds on right now, live and free at East Knox. Looks like they're probably going to score a win in Howard. Can they make it 2 wins in a row on a back-to-back against the Firelands Conference champions in Crestview? You can find out on our Facebook and YouTube. Don't have to put in no credit card information. Some lady asked me down on the floor when I was walking off, is it really $11 to watch your stream? And I laughed her out of the gym.
Never.
Live and free. Always on the OH Report. Want to thank our fantastic crew for helping bring the action tonight. Storm Blunchley running the camera up top. Adam Thompson, the director. Hayden Gray, my color commentator. My name is Brian Skowronski. Thanking you all for tuning in tonight. Our last game at Hathaway Brown this season, at least that we're scheduled for. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Mitch up here and
we never know.
See if we can't swing something. Maybe be back for senior night. We'll find out. But for tonight, from Shaker Heights, we are out of here.